Hello everyone and welcome to another random video on the internet. Today we will be exploring a One Punch Man scenario where Garo is a lot more unhinged than in the original and actually kills heroes. I'll do my best to explore this merciless version of Garo and what his impact on the world of One Punch Man would be. And without any further ado, let's begin. Everyone in the meeting room where Garo first made himself known dies. Garo's ruthlessness extends to criminals here, so they're all dead. The only exception is Sitch, who isn't a hero or a villain and who Garo wanted to send a message to. Moving on, the next big fight Garo has is against the Tank Top Army. Tank Top Master dies, the Tank Top Army dies, and, this is where you guys start to hate me, Moomin Rider dies too. Chironko, seeing people actually getting murdered, might not jump out at Garo, but he didn't know Garo was keeping people alive in the original. He literally slammed Moomin Rider's head against the concrete repeatedly in front of Chironko, and Chironko still jumped out. So, yeah, he jumped out even knowing he might die, even thinking that he will die. So Chironko would jump out here too and get killed. This is actually massive because Saitama never learns of the Super Fight Tournament, which means Goketsu stays alive and successfully returns to the Monster Association base. And Bakuzan kills Suiryu and follows suit. So now Suiryu is dead, and the Monster Association has 2 extra dragon-level monsters at their disposal during the raid. Yeah, we're like a minute in and this is already getting crazy. Other than this, during the Season 2 material, several lower-ranked heroes like Golden Ball, Spring Mustachio, and all the 8 heroes who went after Garo die. Metal Bat also dies, and his sister will probably grow up to be a Sasuke, seeking revenge and all that.
Going to restore my clan and destroy a certain someone.
Now, when Genos fights Garo, he'll be going for the kill just as he was in the original, nothing changes here. But when Bang and Bomb arrive, I see them being a lot, and I mean a lot more pissed at Garo. In the original, Bang claims that he didn't hold back, but obviously he has to have, seeing as his attacks affect Rover and Elder Centipede, who are way more durable than Garo. So even if it was subconscious, Bang was holding back in the original. And Bomb must have been holding back too, seeing as Garo took numerous blows from him here, despite Bomb being capable of trading hits with Monster Garo later. So both Bang and Bomb would have the capacity to end Garo, and they are both a lot angrier and a lot more determined to do so here than in the original. I could very easily see Garo dying here. So from here the scenario splits into 2, one where Garo dies and one where he survives. In the case that Garo lives, things proceed as normal for a bit until Orochi asks Garo to bring him the head of a hero to prove himself as a worthy member of the Monster Association. Here, I could either see Garo accepting the deal and actually going through with killing someone to become a cadre, or he could still be too prideful to follow Orochi's orders and refuse. Remember, the only thing that really changes here is his outlook on killing heroes, not his entire mindset and personality. So I honestly think the second option here is both more likely and more interesting, because if Garo becomes a cadre and doesn't have his fights against Ripper, Bug-God, Rover, and Orochi, he'll be far too weak to matter later on in the arc, so let's just say Garo still goes rogue and gets into all these fights, eventually ending up knocked out and in chains. Now, as the Monster Association raid begins, the biggest difference is the presence of Goketsu and Bakuzan. Bakuzan isn't really that much of a concern, many heroes could kill him, but he might pose a problem for people like Pig God or Puri. Goketsu is a different matter altogether though. I feel like in character he would want to seek out Bang to fight him as a martial artist, but at the same time there's no guarantee that he could find Bang before Psycho Orochi appears and the fight relocates from the ground to the surface. If Goketsu runs into Bang, Fubuki, and Bomb underground, I could see them having a good fight, but with both brothers and Fubuki offering them a boost, I see them making relatively quick work of Goketsu. But if Goketsu doesn't run into them and appears on the surface later, that will be very interesting. For now though, flashing back a bit, when Puri finds Garo and awakens him, Garo doesn't actually kill him. Garo is in a feral state here, and in the original manga he was too, and he couldn't hold back, so we know that he probably did go for the kill against Puri, and Puri lived. Things will go exactly the same here, leading to Darkshine vs Garo, where Darkshine will eventually wake Garo up, force him to evolve to Spiral, and then Garo, instead of hesitating like in the original, will mercilessly gouge out Darkshine's ears, making him go deaf. However, before he can finish Darkshine off, a barrier from Tatsumaki will appear to protect him, and Garo will collapse and start monsterizing. I will say monsterization could start earlier and happen faster in this timeline due to Garo's mindset being more akin to that of a monster, but we'd be getting into a lot of speculation territory there, so for this video we'll just say he evolves at the same rate as in the original. Now getting into the surface battle, the addition of Goketsu certainly adds more spice to things. So let's just quickly establish what each of the key players is doing here. The weaker heroes like Pig God and Tank Top Master, as well as the weakened Tatsumaki, are in the area where all the cadres emerged and fighting the weaker cadres, Gums and Ugly. Black S and Homeless Emperor are in the vicinity, and likely Goketsu would emerge here too. Bang, Bomb, and Fubuki, as well as Genos, are all further away and will take a bit of time to get to the fight. Puri and Child Emperor are underground, Atomic Samurai is busy with Evil Natural Water, Darkshine could maybe arrive to help Atomic, but he's deaf here, so all the pep talks that he got from My Mask and all the other heroes, he's not gonna even understand them here, so really it's pretty unlikely that he would have actually gotten up, especially if he got so maimed that he lost his hearing. I feel like that would be a lot more traumatizing than the actual Garo fight was for him, so he might just stay down the entire time, but for the sake of being generous to the heroes, let's say that he does arrive to help Atomic and dismantles Water. So the main battlefield at this moment in time is Tank Top Master, Pig God, and a massively weakened Tatsumaki versus Gums, Fear Ugly, and in this timeline Goketsu, who I don't really see as being the type to just set the action out. Tatsumaki quickly gets put down by Fear Ugly like in the original, she's just too exhausted and injured at this point. Pig God swallows up a bunch of heroes and Tank Top Master tosses him away to safety. However, here Goketsu gets in the way and slams Pig God back down to the ground, saying,
"No hero is leaving this battlefield alive."
This leads Pig God, with the heroes still inside of him, to square off against Goketsu, and this is a horrible mismatch. Tank Top Master gets mangled by Fear Ugly at the same time, leaving Pig God all by himself to get tossed around and bullied by Goketsu while the people inside of him turn into mush. Thankfully, before Tank Top Master and Pig God and Tatsumaki can be completely finished off, Bang and Genos rush in. They quickly body Gums, getting Tank Top Master out of his stomach, and Bang bullies Ugly. Now, whereas in the original this duo tried to run to get Tatsumaki and Master treatment, here Goketsu gets in the way, so Bang stays back to face him while Genos grabs the two fallen heroes and runs. At the same time, Vomited Fear Ugly is born on the spot, seeking revenge against Bang. Bang, being the smart guy that he is, would realize that Ugly is melting the ground beneath him and deduct that it is best to not touch the creature with his bare hands. So now we have a three-way between Goketsu, Bang, and Ugly. I honestly see Ugly aggroing Goketsu one way or another, either by just attacking him or by attacking Bang and interfering with Goketsu's 1v1 against this legendary martial artist. So in the end, I see Ugly getting blasted apart by shockwaves from Goketsu's fists pretty quickly, leaving Goketsu to fight Awakening Breath Bang one-on-one. Meanwhile, Darkshine, Atomic Samurai, Fatigue Tatsumaki and Genos, as well as the Council of Swordsmen and the A-Class Swordsman heroes fight Black S. Without Ugly to mess things up, Black S is left alone against this entire group and might take longer to decide to fuse, but eventually he would definitely fuse and become Golden S. Now, since Ugly isn't a thing, Darkshine is still relatively confident compared to how he was at this point in the original, definitely not nearly as mentally as broken as in the original. However, he's still not back to full confidence at all. He's not even as confident as he was after dismantling Evil Natural Water, because he's still deaf and he's still experienced a ton of trauma from Garo. But still, we'll say that Darkshine isn't as mentally broken as in the original. And the Council of Swordsmen are alive, and Atomic Samurai still has a sword but doesn't have the Sunblade. So this leads to Golden S with backup from Homeless Emperor versus Darkshine and all the swordsmen, as well as Genos and Fatigue Tatsumaki. And while I could see this being a fight that takes more than a couple minutes to conclude, the monster duo should win pretty handily here. Even if somehow there's enough time for Atomic to receive the Sunblade, it's not like he could win with it either way. And when Zombie Man, Child Emperor, and Puri come out from under the ground, they would just add to the body count. And this is where a major difference comes into play. Metal Bat is dead, and he is the one who got King back into the battlefield. King does not return to the fight here. He is not here to save everyone. So Golden S and Homeless Emperor go on the kill streak of the century. Tatsumaki, Atomic Samurai, Darkshine, the Council of Swordsmen, 2 A-class swordsmen, Child Emperor, Puri Puri Prisoner, Zombie Man, all dead. Even Zombie Man said he saw the river Styx and was pretty sure he was about to die to Homeless Emperor at one point, so I feel like Homeless Emperor just bombarding him over and over again could eventually probably end him. But wait, shouldn't Garo rush in to save everyone like he originally did? Well, let's rewind a bit. As Goketsu and Bang are fighting, Garo emerges on the surface at Bomb's location. And Bomb, seeing that Bang is preoccupied and can't come to him, comes up with an idea. While fighting Garo, he realizes that he cannot beat him on his own, so he kites Garo to the Goketsu and Bang battle. He lures him over, and now it's a battle royale. Bang and Bomb versus Goketsu versus Monster Garo. Bomb is fatigued here, as he still had to lend his strength to Fubuki to heal Tank Top Master, but even in this state, he was capable of putting up a fight against Monster Garo, so he definitely lends a lot of help to Bang here. And in this fight, Bang and Bomb will obviously be working together, but Garo is feral and will attack anyone, whoever he sees. And the biggest target here by far is Goketsu, he's a giant. Garo will likely go at him the most because of how big a target he is, and the brothers will capitalize for sure. The battle would be fierce regardless of how it plays out, with Garo evolving as he fights, but in the end, I see the two brothers managing to pull out the victory by using Goketsu as a distraction to subdue Garo, and then finishing off the damaged giant. But it would be a high difficulty battle for sure, and would leave the brothers worse for wear, especially Bomb, who will be even more tired now. And this fight will certainly take longer to conclude than the battle between the two monsters and the group of heroes, so Bang and Bomb won't be able to swoop in for the save. All this will eventually result in a final showdown as Bang and Bomb, the last two heroes standing, face off against Golden S and Homeless Emperor. Now, I have a video on why I think Bang would beat Golden S in a fight, but here, Bang is tired, Bomb is exhausted, and Golden S has Homeless Emperor as support. The fight would be a spectacle, with Bang letting go of his morals and utilizing the combined power of the Awakening Breath and the Exploding Heart Release Fist in tandem to give himself the best chance of victory. He sacrifices his health, his body, and all of his remaining life force to launch one last, all-out assault in his withering life. He blitzes Homeless Emperor and kills him in an instant before dashing at Golden S. He relentlessly attacks the monster, pushing him to the brink of defeat. However, either through Golden S fusing into Platinum S, or through Bang's body giving out on him too soon, the elderly hero would likely fall. With a tear in his eye, he would apologize for failing to raise Garo the right way. If only the young man didn't become twisted enough to start killing heroes. Maybe things would have been different. As Bang thinks that, someone catches him and saves him from the fall. A moment later, a yellow figure flashes and Platinum S shatters it to pieces. Saitama and Flashy Flash have been sent up to the surface by Blast. But it is already too late. From here, Evil Ocean Water and Sage Centipede will appear and get dealt with really quickly by Saitama, Metal Knight's drones will appear, and the Monster Association arc would end. In the end, the only heroes who survive the raid are Saitama, Flashy Flash, Tank Top Master, Fubuki, and maybe Bang and Bomb, depending on how soon Saitama arrives, and maybe Pig God if he's down for the count but not completely killed in the initial Goketsu matchup. But all of the other heroes are dead. Tatsumaki, Child Emperor, Atomic Samurai, the Council of Swordsmen, so many people die. Metal Bat, Moomin Rider. It's just a complete desolate wasteland after the battle, and yeah, the situation is so much worse than in the original. As for Garo himself, he is either killed in the battle or killed by Flashy Flash or anyone else really. He will not be granted mercy this time. And that is how the scenario would conclude. Now for the second scenario where Garo dies during the first encounter with Bang and Bomb, It's honestly just a less interesting version of this one, as Garo doesn't have much impact underground and doesn't appear on the surface. So Goketsu just fights Bang and Bomb, and everything goes mostly the same, with Bang and Bomb maybe having a better time against Golden S and Homeless Emperor because they'll be less exhausted. But the end result still should remain the same. And that has been it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And with nothing else to say, I wish you a good rest of the day. Goodbye.